Welcome to the fourth Sunday of Lent. Today we shall concentrate on the first reading taken from the book of Joshua, chapter 5, from verse 9 to 12. In those days, the Lord said to Joshua, "This day I have rolled away the reproach of Egypt from you." While the sons of Israel were encamped in Gilgal, they kept the Passover on the 14th day of the month at evening in the plains of Jericho. And on the next day, after the Passover, on the very day, they ate of the produce of the land, unleavened cakes and parched grain. And the manna ceased on the next day, when they ate of the produce of the land. And the sons of Israel had manna no more, but ate of the fruit of the land of Canaan that year. Dear friends in Christ, we are moving on to the celebration of our Pascha. In preparation, the church has shown us today the celebration of this feast by the Jewish community. This is the first celebration of the feast of Passover on entering the promised land. The Passover is one of the yearly feasts of the Jews. In the book of Leviticus, chapter 23, we are presented with the important Jewish festivals, and these include the Sabbath, which is a weekly celebration, and the Passover, the Feast of Unleavened Bread, the Feast of First Sheaf, the Feast of Weeks or the Pentecost, the Day of Expiation, and the Feast of Shelters. These others are yearly celebrations. All these festivals were meant to show the grateful heart of the Jewish community. The first time the Passover celebration is inaugurated in the Jewish religion is in Exodus chapter 12, from verse 1 to 13. The Israelites were informed that the month of their liberation from Egypt is to become the first month of the year for them. That's what we read in Exodus chapter 12, verse 2. This is associated with the month of Abib, referring to the beginning of the barley harvest. This was the season of spring, and thus the springtime, the beginning of the life of Israel as a free nation. This shows the importance of this month for Yahweh and for his people. It is in this month in which the Israelites achieved their liberation from Egypt. The book of Exodus also gives careful details about the celebration of this feast. It says, on the 10th of the month, the victim for the celebration is kept in readiness. That means 4 days before the celebration, the victim is also already made ready for this celebration. And the victim has to be a lamb without blemish, 1-year-old male. The animal will be slaughtered at evening on the 14th day of the month. Some of the blood will be smeared on the lintel of every Israelite house. And in Exodus chapter 12, from verse 13 to 14, the significance of the blood was given. The blood will be a sign for you on the houses where you are. And when I see the blood, I will pass over you. And you will escape the destructive plague when I strike Egypt. The night of the Passover was to be a night of divine justice. It was to be a night when Yahweh reverses the intention of mankind, especially the intentions of the Egyptians against the Israelites. The Egyptians who planned the extinction of the sons of Israel are to be punished with the death of their firstborn of man and beast alike, while the firstborn Israelite is to be ransomed for Yahweh. Therefore, as the punishment of blood is meted out to the Egyptians, blood became emblematic of the deliverance of the Israelites. In this way, the Passover, which was an old nomadic sheep festival, has been remodeled to serve as a reminder of the event of the Exodus. It was this feast that the community of Israel celebrated at Gilgal, as we heard it in the reading of today. Recall the first words of the reading. The Lord said to Joshua, "Today I have rolled away the reproach of Egypt from you." We know for sure that was not the day that God rolled away the reproach of Egypt, but it implies that as much as they celebrate the Passover, they are calling to mind the liberation brought about through the finger of God. And in 1 Corinthians chapter 5 verse 7, St. Paul calls Jesus our Passover. He has become our Paschal Lamb. He is the Lamb that takes away the sins of the world. We are more than grateful for this. Let us, therefore, use the remaining days of the Lenten period to prepare to celebrate our freedom. Freedom from any bondage or servitude to evil. We pray within this period that our nation may experience total liberation from the hands of oppressive rulers, so that we may raise our hearts and minds to God on Easter Sunday, celebrating the resurrection of Christ. Thank you, and God bless you until we see again.